The next speaker is Professor Francis Kersey, originally from France, or he's from France. He talk about a slightly modified project in
F5. Yes, here I would like to talk about another way to solve this problem, or trying to solve a problem of the new moon. And what we propose is just thanks. First of all, I have to thank all my colleagues for your invitation. And I have to thank also the referee for his remarks. And I have to thank the assistants, because this problem is very difficult. And I try here to give you my opinion about the resolution of the problem of the new moon, but I am only Christians. And in some way I cannot give a good solution, because it's mainly a problem of religion also. So what we try here is an aircraft equipment for the new moons. And in introduction, we said why we propose such a project, because we have seen in our European countries, the Muslims don't start Ramadan the same days in the same country or different countries. And what we see also is the Islam is really a world religion. So we have to solve the problems for the world itself, not for some part of the world, starting from Mecca and going to the west or to the east. We say, really, it's the world. We have to take account of this. All this community of Muslims are around the world. In every country we have Muslims, so we have to see. To facilitate the new Christian observation, two solutions. First, it's a kind of lunar network. Because it is made by scientists or by popular, it's a kind of network. And the second one is an artificial satellite. It was started originally by Cairo Mosque, Tantawi. And I have seen a paper and I have some remarks on this paper. But at point of view, the observation from outside the Earth need also some problems of parallax computation. That means when the satellite watch a new moon, we don't see it. So we have to wait position for the Earth watching this new moon and so on and so on. It's difficult. And the third solution is between these two. It's a plane. And we go on the plane to watch a new moon, and we go exactly where it's appeared for the first time. And that's the difference, because that's important. I continue. Some remark about the Hilal observatory grid, if you want. A large part of the world is covered by oceans. So if the new moon appears somewhere on the oceans, we need a boat, we need something to go there. We are never sure to have a clear sky on the mountains. So it's bad to lose a first watch, okay? And third, it's a problem of the atmosphere. And we have to eliminate really the telluric problems, sand wind, in this country, clouds and so on for the North countries. And mainly two problems, and the big problem is the Keller cell, convective cell of the atmosphere. And for these reasons, if we go in altitude, not so very high altitude, we don't observe nothing, because if we have sand wind, we observe until 12,000 meters. We have these Keller cells. It's a convective cells of the atmosphere. And this appears mainly in the South countries, because the difference between the atmosphere and the floor is very, very, very important. We don't see Keller cells in Norway. We see it in Sahara. Okay. So we try another solution. About the Islamic satellite. This is a religion point of view, not mine, so I cannot talk about. But it seems that somewhere in Malaysia, there are a problem, and said that it's not permitted. A participant in the day 98 said it's not permitted to observe the new moon by satellite. So I cannot talk about that. But Good, okay. So now we have to describe the principle of the aircraft method. Astronomers compute the track of the moon. The pilot drives the plane, and they go where we have to, where the position. And we put on the plane 2 imams. And these are the people who decide if the moon is good or no. And this is a religious point of view. So it's really made by the imam itself. And when this new moon is observed by religious men, that means they have a capability to decide what we do. Okay, send an image like yourself by internet. But we see only one image going from the plane, or few images. In your case, you have a lot of exchange between Muslims. So you can, your email is completely crowded, you receive thousands of emails. That's very different. Here, you have few emails. So each mosque receives his email watching a moon. That's okay. And by this way, we are really the first to observe the new crescent because we are on the good place in the world. And because we are 3 people, astronomers, pilot, imams. Each has his own responsibility. And this is a perfect collaboration between science and religion. Okay? And experience was made. We have tentative after, I have proposed this project at the 2001 in the second Islamic conference in Amman. And after this project, 2 groups tested it. One was in Jordan with Mohammed Odey with a plane at 11,500 feet. That is not so high. And you have the results on the site. And Iranian colleagues, namely it's Mirani. He's here, but I don't know him. He sent me images. He sent me, he really effectively observed a crescent in 2004. He photographed it in 2005, but he don't see it in 2006 because he said me by mail, the sky was still dusty. Sure, because it is just on the top of the Keller cell. So you cannot observe because it is really in the sand, in altitude. We have to climb much more. It is really the problem, is to be really independent of the atmosphere. Just some technical observation. First, what we want, what is the objective we have, is to observe the new crescent as soon as possible after the conjunction. For that, some technical problems have to be solved. And I give you here a small drawing, very, very simple. We have 2 planes. The plane is B, you have the orbit of the moon around the Earth, and the plane E is perpendicular. When you have the sun in this position, you have an eclipse. And in general, the sun is here. So you can see this as a process normally. Okay, full moon, new moon, and the sun is in the plane A, it's here. And here it's sun for the eclipse of the moon. Or eclipse of the sun, or depend where you have the moon. It's a very simple problem. So here, quickly, is a little bit ill, the system. Okay, I have a new one. Here you have a sun for the eclipse, and here usually the sun where it is. Okay, it's a very simple problem because the moon is turning around the Earth. They continue just again. Nowadays, the observational techniques in the plane are binoculars, small refractors, and CCDs. The first observation I suggest is to continue this kind of equipment, very simple. But with plane going in very high altitude, 50,000 feet, 51,000 feet, because we are sure that at this altitude we have no Keller cells, and we can observe in the south countries. And the objective is to estimate the delay after the conjunction between the observation made on the floor, on the ground, and the observation made by airplane. So the equipment, 2 refractors, one for the imam, he wants to observe with his eyes or with a refractor, and one for the observers, that means for technology, for the CCD. Okay? The system will be limited spectral resolution, angular spectral resolution by the eyes of the man, 1 minute of arc, and by the glasses of the aircraft. Okay? If we reach a kind of limit, that means we observe with resolution of 1 minute of arc, that means the capability of our eyes, we make a progress. That means we decrease the delay between conjunction and the first observation. And if we reach this one, we can start a second experience, going in the way where we cannot observe by eyes directly, but we observe by instruments. It's a question of discussion. And we have a lot of problems to be solved: signal over noise, spatial resolution, glass of the cockpit, outside pod, spectral domain. What is the best spectral domain, taking account about the emissivity of the moon and the sky during the day, during a twin light. And we have to introduce, like you say, the data reduction software to compare what we observe and what we think about, and so on. You have here details of the instruments for the preliminary equipment, for the 1 minute spatial resolution problems, and test, okay, what we need. We need the systems, that means laptop, double tripod, high resolution CCD, refractor, and so on. These are problems we have to test. And second, about the advantages, it's mainly the problem of the two imams inside the plane, because they decide by themselves. That's important. And the problem also is aircraft is able to climb very high altitude to observe the new crescents, and after that he go down for the observations. That means he kind of attached to the Earth. It's not like a satellite very far away from us. And a plane is 2 times the Everest mountain altitude. Conclusion. It's not necessary to buy an aircraft. In the Muslim country, we have many Falcon aircraft. What we need 2 or 3 days on twin light to test the system. And it's useful to put the machine inside the plane a few times by year. And after that, we remove it and we put it in, somewhere. That's enough. Pyramid does not modify the structure of the plane. If you want to observe through the cabin, you don't modify your glasses. If you want to observe more, with more capability, much more capability than your eyes, you need some technical improvement. Thank you. And let me begin.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. I have an issue with the suggestions you just presented. Satellites, airplane, kites, balloons, high mountains. These suggestions accommodate the views of the hardliners who think that they are the only ones who are right and the rest of the world is wrong. Second, they don't recognize any one of them. They only recognize actual naked eyes sightings. So even if you take not just 2 imams, 200 imams in the plane, they don't believe him in the first place. Third, there is no need for it in the first place. When I arrived at the Abu Dhabi International Airport, I knew a day or before when I'm going to arrive. There was no need for a chopper to go upstairs, to go outside in the skies to see if the Saudi Airlines is going to arrive at the same time or not. Science tells us exactly where and when the first sighting of the moon will be. So we really don't need such wonderful suggestions, although there are some scientific problems with it. What we need is to educate some, not all, some sheikhs who only believe in their views and think that the rest of the other sheikhs, the other scholars, Islamic scholars, are wrong.
Okay, thank you. You want to answer that?
Not a good idea. You are talking about Muslim problems. Well, I cannot speak. It's off. Two answers. First, when we present for the first time, when we present...
I think mic is not working. Wait for the
she's
green
red.
light.
First, when we present this project first time 5 years ago, it was accepted, and it was selected by the second Islamic conference, so I continue to think of this problem. Okay, if today it's not accepted, that doesn't matter for me. But I think really you have to educate the people and so on. But we have to eliminate these wrong observations. And in this solution, we give the first observation possible in the world. That means if it is sent to everybody in the world, it gives you a kind of unicity. You can start Ramadan all together in all countries at the same time. That's very important. And I appreciate this idea of having fasting the same day or 24 hours just in this interval of 24 hours. What we have for Eastern and Christian religions, we have the same day. That's important for me.
Sorry. No, sorry. We can continue the discussion later on. We need to continue. Okay, Elias.
About your method, you said that the Iranians have seen something about 40,000 feet.
40,000 feet.
Yeah, you said it is a private communication, so
Yeah.
did they send you some pictures of that crescent?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
old was it and so on?
Yeah.
Because what you are facing, and you said it yourself, you are facing the same problem as we face on Earth.
No,
So why do you have to travel yourself to send a jet fighter at 50,000 feet to look for something that we can do it on Earth with the same problem?
No, I don't think so. It's not exactly like we do on the Earth. Because in the Earth, you have the atmosphere. And
You have what?
Also, the atmosphere of the Earth, with the sun, the clouds.
We still have a 15 kilometers, we still have
At
some.
50 kilometers, really, I don't have, if you want, humidity. I don't have clouds. The last clouds are 12,000 kilometers. And the last layer of sand in the Keller cell are at 30,000 meters. So I am sure I eliminate all problem of atmosphere. And this is very important, because really you observe the phenomenon itself.
Okay, thank you very much. I think since there is no advantage from the point of Sharia to start Ramadan before the actual starting, so there's no need to compete and to start early on. Thank you very much. Now the next talk is